Welcome to another edition of EMAC24111 on YouTube.com. Make sure to like this video and subscribe. With the Stone Cold Steve Austin, Paul Heyman, on Stone Cold Podcast Live 2015, the WWE Network review. Here it is. It was live on the WWE Network for about a little bit over an hour. It was immediately following Raw on June 1st, 2 nights ago. So, it was an interview. Okay, so here it is. Basically, they're backstage at Raw in San Antonio, Texas. So yeah, I'm just gonna get into like the review, basically what they talked about and stuff. They talk about their early days together. You know, about basically when he first saw Austin Heyman, how he hit the ropes just you know, so hard, and you know, and how Austin did it, ferocious. And then, you know, with JR, saying that they scored a big win with Austin, then he eventually would start to manage him. And then they had like this dangerous alliance or something like that, Holy Dangerous or something like that. It was like Heyman's idea. That was the last piece. And then they talk, you know, talks about how he talks to Dusty Rhodes, Heyman, to put Austin with the stable. And then, you know, saying that he's basically from Texas. And then you bring up Brock Lesnar. You know, when he's coming back, we all know he's coming back, obviously. And he's been a farmer and he's a hunter, basically. That's basically who he is at heart, what he says. And he said he wants to do some hunting with Lesnar. He suggested it'd be filmed on the WWE Network. He talked about, you know, what's the leverage game with UFC. What's he really thinking about going back? And they say he opened up a new training camp in January. And then if he would have returned, he would have did a full-blown camp for a UFC return if he can sign a deal with WWE, but he did, obviously. And then we had talked about his victory over Randy Couture, and that was with he even had to get turculitis. Apparently, he was like the biggest heavyweight of all time, or the greatest. You know, and they had to cut the fights on the ground and stuff. He said basically, what would a healthy Brock Lesnar do in the WWE? You know, I'm just looking down on my notes on my notebook. Basically, and then basically they would say that, you know, this time around that they're enjoying themselves in the WWE. And then also this is actually something I wanted to bring up. Basically Austin would bring up the IWC, which is the Internet Wrestling Community. Not believing that basically Lesnar loves the business because it, you know, has limited dates basically. Basically he's saying that he loves his kids more, of course, but they need a father more than WWE needs Lesnar. Basically talking about again that Lesnar's appearances are can't miss, which I would actually have to agree with. But you know, would he manage more clients? He said no, because it was just basically because, you know, his Lesnar's dynamic. He said he did. It only worked with CM Punk because of their relationship. It was a different character than did with Lesnar. He used the analogy of Punk. They were like, I'm about to sneeze, I think. No, wait. No, I guess it passed. Okay, then they talk about Morrissey and Jerome. And then basically saying they still talk, him and Punk on text more than they talk on the phone. They said their friendship isn't based on the business and basically it's outside of the business. Basically, you know, his UFC debut. He said it's about the challenge, not the money. He said he regrets basically not doing this 5 or 6 years earlier, and has added since a kid. And then, you know, he's accepting that he'll shock everyone if he knocks someone out, or if he gets face and, you know, he gets punched in the face, or he gets knocked out, or tapped out. Of any possibility, basically. Sorry guys, I haven't been on YouTube in a while, made videos and uploads, so I haven't been here in 2 days. I've been busy, it's summer vacation now, I'm out of school, you know, doing stuff. I'll be here though to bring videos from time to time, but they talk about Jake Roberts selling basically the DDT, about their finishers, how they're not used properly, like people are just throwing out finishers here and there, and they're just kicking out, what's the point? You know, people were talking about drop kicks, Rocky Johnson did it, Basically saying, if, you know, Mark Henry, a big guy, puts a headlock over 30 weeks or something, they'd get over. They could even hit him with a title and broke out of it at WrestleMania. And then they talk about Raw and says he's hiring Kevin Owens. And then they talk about promos, basically. You know, talk about money, where's the money, am I selling, you know, the product? Where, talk about saying Brock Lesnar. And then, you know, people said, you know, about the Ultimate Warrior promos, people said they didn't like it, then he liked it. It's more about promos. Okay. Let's go. Kind of talk about Vince Sr. and Jr. About how he started in the business, basically Paul Heyman, how he took a picture with all that shit, and had $50 and stuff. The hell? No, as I'm looking on my phone right now. CM Punk just tweeted at Titus O'Neil. Wow. Let's get back into it. We're going to talk about him leaving the company basically in 2006 because he was burnt town, and then he came back 5 years later. Their relationship, Vince McMahon and Paul Heyman. And they would talk about cocaine for some reason. I don't know why. They talk about like their travel rides and how, you know, him being on the SmackDown writer in ECW and how they resurrected the brands. And then they would talk about basically they would talk about their road stories and shit, and yeah. Oh, now let's get down to the main event. Now this was something crazy at the end, I have to say. So basically Heyman would say that, okay, so basically, they come back to them discussing a potential Austin versus Lesnar match for WrestleMania 32. He said he'd open a can of whoop ass on Lesnar. He said it's been great talking to Heyman tonight, but Heyman wants to make the match happen. He's asked if they should go talk to Vince about it. Austin says the only way that match can happen is a Texas death match. Austin says that would be the match to headline WrestleMania, which basically would be the main event. As I'm still here, alive. Austin starts going on a promo and says he's getting a little amped up looking at Heyman's sorry ass. He threatens Heyman with an ass whooping and says Lesnar isn't here to stop it. Austin says it's been a damn good time having Heyman here tonight. Austin says he's about to ready to drink cold beer and think about everything. Austin thanks everyone for listening. It says he's glad to be back on the WWE Network and wraps it up from 7:10. So there's your Steve Austin Paul Heyman podcast recap about the possible Brock Lesnar match. We talked about CM Punk with more promos, selling, finishers, how they started, their relationship, their road stories, Vince McMahon, their relationship, how he departed, Brock Lesnar, you know, all the states. He talked about a lot of good stuff. Very good promo, I liked it. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Brock Lesnar. Sorry, as I'm stretching on the episode. It's been a match everyone wants to see. It's gonna be a super match. I mean, next year in 2016 in his hometown with over 100,000 people there. I'd be interested for sure. That's no joking aside. I would want Stone Cold to win, but Brock Lesnar, I mean, I don't know. You talk about other stuff, but I mean, it was pretty good. This podcast, I mean, rating out of 5 stars, but actually 4 out of 5 stars. Barely better than Chris Jericho's podcast. This is his 3rd installment. Now, was this one the best? Better than Triple H and Men's? Probably not. Maybe. It was interesting though. And that's being honest with you guys. You know, it was very interesting. Now they're teasing it. It's looking like the match isn't happening because they wouldn't do this just for nothing. WWE would not just, you know, throw this out there and then not going anywhere with it. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna start this. I mean, he has to do stuff though in order to actually get the match, but he's looking good. I mean, he's training. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you never know. I think it can. It's a big. I think it's probably could happen. Giving you some more backstage news, because there's rumors that the seeds were planted for that Steve Austin vs. Brock Lesnar match at WrestleMania 32. So Cold Austin returned to WWE Network Monday night with the latest edition of his podcast, featuring Paul Heyman as his guest. So for the past several years, Heyman had acted as an advocate for former WWE champion Brock Lesnar. When we got the opportunity to ask Austin questions at that podcast, he asked Austin to face Lesnar at WrestleMania 32. This is quote for quote exactly what he said. He said, if I was going to fight Brock Lesnar, I would beat his ass. Austin said, you sit there with this little grin on your face, but I think you know how it would go down. I'd have to think about it, but the person who really have to think about it is Brock Lesnar. I don't think he'd want to take all the momentum and all the good stuff you all have done to roll into 105,000 people and get his ass smoked. Austin's demeanor changed significantly after Heyman asked that question, as he got really fired up when answering. Austin seemed like he was maneuvering for the match, which would obviously be a huge money maker for all parties involved. He said, quote, Austin said, I would open a can of whoop ass on Brock Lesnar's ass. We could discuss it. Then then said that he'd want to do a Texas death match because at his age he wouldn't look to get into a technical battle with a guy like Lesnar. Heyman even tried to change the subject, but Austin was steadfast in saying he'd beat Lesnar. The full podcast did go over an hour and finished in Austin threatening Heyman and making him leave for thanking him for all he did for his career. I mean, there's rumors that it was going to be Brock and Brock. So, I mean, I'm not sure, but I hope this match does happen. I went crazy. I went bonkers. I'm not joking when this happened. I went out of my seat. I was like, oh, hell no. I mean, it was crazy, man. For real. I mean, it was freaking awesome. I mean, okay, guys, I think that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you YouTube. Peace out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting, and make sure to like this video, share this video all over the entire internet on Facebook, Twitter. Comment with your thoughts and your opinions. Subscribe.